All right, thank you so much for joining me for this presentation about Experience Design 404. This presentation is all about creating experiences and intentionally designing experiences for people so that they'll be able to understand and feel happy together. To introduce, at the start of this class, before we really got to know each other in NSO so that we could build a strong cohort. And so during the class and then afterward, we could have strong relationships. Experience design is really what this is all about. There's a quote: "Experience is the most important thing in business, yet most executives and entrepreneurs neglect the value of design experiences from the onset." Experiences are going so much farther than goods and services. To start out, we really have to understand how to be creative and how we can be confident in ourselves with our creativity. A lot of times we kind of forget that we have the innate, have the divine within us to be creative, and that it is possible for us to be creative. Dieter F. Uchtdorf wrote a talk all about creativity, how it is a God-given gift to each of us that we can be creative, that we can intentionally design experiences for other people. Design thinking, again, is all about intentionally creating experiences through a process of empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing to develop solutions to professional and personal experience related to wicked problems. The first step is to empathize with the customer, whoever it is. To empathize means to build connection with them, to not judge them, recognize emotion in other people, the community that you're communicating with, and to feel with people, not necessarily above people. Kind of like the example of the person in the hole that we talked about in class. The next step is to define, creating a point of view statement. This is by talking about who our end user is, what their specific need is, and then intentionally understanding our insight based on the empathy data that we were able to gain. The next step is to ideate. There's many ways that we can ideate, and this can be through mind mapping. We can just start writing or saying things that come to mind and then write them down. Or there's the I love activity that we come in class. And then at that point, we need to get away from judgment by saying words like I will like, I wish, I wonder with other people's ideas. At this point, we need to prototype those ideas that we feel will best meet the needs of our defined problem and the point of view statement. Then we talk about experience mapping. This is employing experience mapping process to design touch points, reaction, contributors, front stage and backstage, and moments of truth associated with experience journeys. So it's basically telling the story of the experience that we're creating. In the semester, we had our initial testing. Our first initial testing wasn't as good as we hoped it was. It was good, but we realized after this experience that we needed to gain a lot more empathy data. And then at that point, we were able to make some changes. After this, we talked about some other experience design principles that were really useful to every field in experience design and that we can apply not only to our experience that we created, but also to the rest of life. These experience elements, we focused on people, place, objects of the experience, rules, relationships, and blocking how the actual flow of the experience even went. Some of the technical and artistic elements that we really needed to focus on included the background, technical elements, costumes, lights, the sounds, the smells, engaging all the senses, etc. Then we realized the importance of creating an experience style guide. And this is a place where we could put in colors, themes, ideas, backgrounds, basically things that we wanted to make cohesive throughout the entire experience. And then we wanted to focus on telling the hero's journey, including ordinary world, call to adventure, refusal of the call, meeting with a member, crossing the threshold, etc. So basically storytelling. And then we had to revamp our experience, revisit the design thinking process. And then afterward, it was definitely a great experience in the end. We came up with something that was unique and something that we wouldn't have come up with before. I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity that I've been able to be in this class and to learn all that I have with Matt and with the cohort that we formed. Thanks so much.